you think Paddy is the real deal now? His hype train is back on the tracks?
I don't know, bro. It's still like he's only fought old guys, man.
He abused him, though.
Yeah, but like everyone abused Chandler. In reality, his only real legit win is Dan Hooker.
What do you think about Paddy versus Charles?
Tony Ferguson on his way out doesn't really count. You know
What
what
do
I
you
mean?
think about Paddy versus Charles?
Bro, that's what I want to see. Charles Oliveira, Paddy, #1 contender. But then here's the thing. I don't want to throw Paddy yet. Like, I think he needs, like, another year of fighting.
He's been fighting long enough.
I don't know, bro. It's different level. Like, each level he's got to get – because he was sitting too tall, getting hit a little too much. You know what I mean? Where Islam's going to sit a little bit lower. Like, I think his grappling –
Paddy versus Islam, I think Paddy gets killed.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to think long-term for Paddy. He's the only real threat to Islam.
He's a thick boy, that's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and Islam won't just take him down and be able to submit him. So I want to see Paddy fight, like, not another, like, killer like Charles Oliveira, but maybe like a Benelli Darush, right?
Benil or maybe Gaethje or Dustin Poirier even.
Paddy versus Gaethje?
Yeah, Gaethje would. But even Gaethje, though, it's like, should be waiting for the title shot.
Then what about Dan Hooker? He's kind of just sitting there.
Yeah, Dan Hooker. I mean, that would be a good one. But, yeah, Dan Hooker, actually, that's a great fight. Like, but, you know, like, you want to see Paddy, like, you know what I mean, develop a little bit more. Like, don't throw him in, like, because Islam will just beat him and then it's over with.
Yeah, then maybe a Benil Dariush would be a good fight, or even a Fiziev coming off his loss.
Yeah, Fiziev, like one of those top.
I think Gaethje would be a good one. Or Dustin's not going to fight. But I think Dustin versus, Gaethje versus Paddy, because Paddy's still like a little boy. You know what he reminds me of? Did you ever see that episode of South Park?
Yeah, but I also think Gaethje's just that next level still, where Paddy's just needs like another fight before those guys.
But tell me if this analogy lines up for you. You seen that episode of South Park where there was the little person teacher who was like about bullying, and Cartman beat his ass in the end? Like Cartman got into a fist fight with him.
Yeah.
And Cartman's just like this big goofy dude, but he beats up the little person, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Paddy is like Cartman. So he needs somebody who's really tough. Nobody looks at Chandler and thinks they think he's a goofball.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need
they need him to fight somebody really like a mean dude like Gaethje.
Yeah, but not yet. Like, because Gaethje's just in line for a title. You know what I mean? Like, and there's no one else for Islam. Islam versus Gaethje hasn't happened. You know what I mean?
Well, Islam's supposed to fight. He was going to fight Armin or Topuria now.
Yeah, exactly. And then Gaethje should fight maybe another top, like Poirier again would be exciting, but
Didn't he just fight Charles?
Charles again. Yeah, he just fought Charles. But then then you got all this like time for Paddy to kind of still, you know what I mean? Like Islam has two or three fights.
Watching this performance, I think you're babying him too much. Bro.
He needs to be babied, bro. He's still fighting. He still has a lot of holes.
He's not young. He's old now. He's in his 30s.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like he still has holes in his striking that are really exposing, you know, and like he did a lot better. Like there's nothing like fighting. Nothing gets your experience like fighting, and him getting on the inside and throwing with Chandler, great experience. But now we got to keep him like working towards it.
Okay, we're wrapping up. Let's talk main event: Diego versus Volk.
Did you guys want to talk about the Bryce Mitchell-Gene Silva?
Oh, of course, I know. Bro, Gene, and that's in.
I told you.
That's the most exciting division right now.
I told
Featherweight,
you that Gene
I know,
was
bro.
real.
Bryce's wrestling got shut down.
Yeah, you said he just kept spamming takedowns later on?
Yeah, dude. And then once his wrestling, I knew it was over, and I was like,
he got put out by submission.
Yeah.
What
Well,
was
he was rocked, probably.
What was the choke on it?
Guillotine.
Guillotine.
No, but the other one that he sunk in on him.
A ninja choke. Yeah, he almost
choke,
had
right?
it. Yeah. And you know, it was wild. It was Gene just looked like the real deal out there. You know, those fighting nerds are really delivering.
I told you.
And like he shut down his wrestling, but now it's like, all right, I think Bryce was maybe overrated.
Didn't it seem like Gene was not worried the entire time? The same way he fought that Afghani, or who was it last time?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Afghani?
No.
Armenian
guy.
Yeah, so the same way, he just walks in there like he doesn't care.
Bro, okay, you know what I want to see?
That's aura.
Gene Silva, Josh Emmett.
No, Josh Emmett's too low for him. I think Gene Silva needs to skyrocket now.
Josh Emmett just won again.
Yeah, but he's.
Oh, no, he just lost.
He
Never
lost.
mind. Ian Murphy. Okay, how about that? Ian Murphy.
No, he needs to be. What is Gene Silva ranked now?
No, not right now.
Dana said he's going to probably be top 10,
Top
top
10
5
for
even.
sure.
So he needs a top 10 guy.
Yeah, who's top 10 in that division?
You got Aljo, Leroy Murphy,
Aljo would
I
be
think
great for him.
Murphy's
Arnold
better.
Allen,
Murphy's coming off a win.
Aljo would be a great fight.
Arnold
for him.
Allen,
Aljo's just lost to Mozart.
Brian Ortega, and then you
Brian
got,
Ortega is overrated and should not be in that top 10.
yeah, he's 6 right now. Then you got the top 5, Yair.
How
Mozart,
is he in there?
Diego.
You know what I mean? Or, oh, dude, Yair and Gene Silva.
No, that's too much for. Yair's going to get his title shot soon. That's for sure.
Yeah. You
I
think
don't
so?
know. I think Aljo. I think Aljo would be a good fight for this kid.
Aljo's coming off a loss. He won't make it exciting.
But that would be 2 wrestlers in a row that Gene Silva puts to bed.
Yeah.
And therefore puts away the argument, and now he can start fighting some strikers.
Yeah, I think Sterling needs he needs a bounce back fight. You know what I mean? You can't.
I think his day is past. I
Yeah.
think they use him like a stepping stone.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, that's exactly what they're gonna. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They gave Mozart to him,
Okay, let's talk main event. Diego Lopez Volkanovski.
and that's the other featherweight. So who's next for Alex?
Volk?
Yeah,
You're saying?
Volkanovski.
That's interesting. Yeah. Didn't we just say Yair?
You said Yair.
No, you said Yair. I said Yair needs to fight. Yair needs to fight Diego.
Yeah, but that's just a hype fight. There's no one really else for. Volk. Or I think it should be Mozart. Mozart,
Yeah, so those two can
Evloev
fight.
versus Alex, and then those two fight for the number 1 contender.
Yeah.
And then you get Gene Silva versus Ian Murphy, who just was main event. That's a great fight. And then the winner of that is right in the mix.
I think they really like Gene. I think he's got a lot of personality, and I know Hunter likes him.
Yeah.
A lot.
Which, how about this one? What about next week or this weekend? The next fighting nerd is Pradas versus Ian Gary.
I think Ian Gary has taken enough verbal abuse that he's going to beat the crap out of this kid.
You think that's going to be the first loss out of all the fighting nerds?
Yeah, I think for all we say about Ian, he's a fighter.
Bro, that's what I think.
He fought Yuri just recently?
Shavkat.
Shavkat and lost a close decision. And I think he beats Pradas, and then he's number 1 contender. Him versus, he's a problem for Bilal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bilal's a problem for everybody, but Ian just has a lot of tools, and he's got a lot of weapons. And then Shavkat coming back. So, dude, all these weights are kind of getting exciting.
Yeah, it's getting good.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of, especially with the advent of the fighting nerds, there's a lot of good trash talking going on.
Yeah, the fighting
it's
nerds.
becoming more geared towards the casuals because it's been technical for a while.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of it being sold and being on mainstream stuff is and being owned with part owners of the WWE. It is
Showmanship.
showmanship.